Texas recruiting is doing what we thought it would be doing by the end of the summer. The Horns are closing in on a top 5 class, and there's still some work to be done. Exciting times for Texas fans as the season is about to begin. Speaking about the season beginning, make sure you guys are locked into Prize Picks. I loved it last season. It's super easy. All you got to do is select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. Now, this is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. If you have any type of skill, you can turn $10 into $1,000 with just a few taps. Prize Picks is really simple. I can make my picks and submit my entry in less than 60 seconds. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what makes Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy app. So this week on Prize Picks, I took a look, right? I'm taking Saquon Barkley for more than 60 yards, Patrick Mahomes for more than 2 passing touchdowns, Aaron Rodgers, I got him for more than 3 passing touchdowns, and Travis Kelce for more than 50 yards. All right, I'm also going to take Odell Beckham Jr. for more than 50 yards. I know, kind of risky, but I'm doing it. Prize Picks offers weekly promotions as well that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts selected player projections up to 25% to provide even more value. Now, Prize Picks offers Apple Pay for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. Prize Picks is the most fun way to make a little money during the football season. So here's what we're going to do. Go to prizepicks.com/inside scoop. Use promo code inside scoop and receive a guaranteed $50 once you play $5 in lineups. That's prizepicks.com/inside scoop. Promo code inside scoop. Go do it. Daily fantasy sports made easy. All right, let's bring on Justin Wells from Inside Texas. And we were here on the On3 Recruits channel just last night for 5-star wide receiver, or 5-star safety Jonah Williams. I know we're going to get to a 5-star wide receiver here in a minute, but it was Jonah Williams, the #1 safety in America, committing to the Longhorns. This one went back and forth. At times it was Oregon. At times it was Texas A&M, even Oklahoma. They were involved heavily. Jonah Williams, though, now that he's on board, I mean, what does this mean for Texas recruiting at the safety position?
I still think they'd like another guy. You know, they lost Cade Phillips to LSU a few weeks ago. And so I think they would like to add another guy, you know, like a Nathan Tillman, a kid that they've been on for a little bit that just committed to Utah. But right now, I think they are more focused on kind of wrapping up this month, this 5-star August. You know, they've got Jamie French who's announcing on Friday, and that one's going to be a big one. But for the safety position, you know, Jonah's just such a freak athlete, Josh. He is a hybrid in every sense of the word. He's got a package of plays. He's going to have something on offense at Texas as well. If you've ever watched his tape, he's a D1 wide receiver at the same time. And so, not to mention baseball, but I think in the safety room, Jonah adds a jolt of athleticism to a room that's got Derek Williams, Xavier Fulsame, Jelani McDonald, and I think they'll try to get one more.
Loaded. If I had to describe the safety room in one word, it's loaded. All right. Speaking of 5-stars, let's bring up the trusty graphic that you and I have been working off of for like the last 3 or 4 weeks. And these were Texas 5-star targets committing in August. We can check Jonah Williams off. We can check Khalil Lockett off. Michael Fasusi, I mean, we can check him off. He went to Oklahoma, but hey, you're not going to land every 5-star. So that brings us to 2 more 5-stars on this list of guys that are committing in August. Now we can push Michael Terry off because at this point, it doesn't look like he's going to be committing in the next 5 or 6 days. So he won't be an August decision, but we're going to talk about him. So let's look at Jamie French. He's set to decide in about 5 days, heavily trending toward Texas. I mean, this feels like a slam dunk, is it?
It's coming. It feels like the first dunk, the reverse 360 that Vince Carter did in the 2000 NBA dunk contest, where everybody and their brother just jumped through the roof. It's got that kind of vibe to it. You know, you add a big-time wide receiver with Khalil Lockett in this 2025 cycle would be huge for Chris Jackson, Steve Sarkisian in that bunch. You know, Jamie French and Texas have been really close ever since that visit in April. They have been building a really, really strong relationship. at different times. Ohio State, Tennessee. He was committed to Alabama. Miami made a push. LSU made a push.
Yeah.
All these other schools are kind of in the mix. But at the end of the day, I think Texas has made the best presentation. I think they've done the best job. That would wrap up a very, very productive August. And when I asked Jonah Williams, what are you going to do now that you're committed to Texas? His quote was, now that I'm Team Texas, I have to turn into a recruiter. And the first two guys I'm going to get are Jamie French and DeCorian Moore.
DeCorian Moore. Now, that's a name that we said that the Texas Longhorns would double back on. So we're going to talk about him in a second. But Michael Terry III, who do you think the biggest competition is heading into the fall?
Oh, Nebraska and Oregon. And you know what? I've thought this might be a Texas-Oregon battle for the most, but Nebraska has really thrown haymakers in this recruitment. When you send an entire staff to visit a kid at a school, that makes an impression. They have sold him completely on being a dynamic outside wide receiver, doing great things with Dylan Raiola, the big-time five-star quarterback in Lincoln right now. So they're listening. They like that pitch. I actually caught up with Terry a couple nights ago. And he's really, you can tell the recruiting process is it's a lot for him right now. I think he's really just wanting to focus on his senior year, but he realizes he's got a big decision to make. He's going to make some visits. He's going to make a trip to Nebraska. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes a trip to Oregon in September. And I think he's going to see a game at Texas in August and September as well, probably the UTSA game. And so maybe we get a decision sometime in September. I don't think this thing is going to stretch that much further. I think him and his family would love to go ahead and get the process out of the way. They just want to make absolutely sure they're making the right decision. And I think that's why Nebraska and Oregon are going to give Texas as much problem as possible.
All right, let's circle back on DeCorian Moore, because I asked you a couple weeks ago if they would, if he was going to be a major flip target. And I know it was fresh off that commitment to Oregon, and I know the emotions are high and nobody wants to talk to anybody as the dust settles. But now that the dust has settled and the season is here, DeCorian Moore, I mean, we can admit he's going to be the prime flip target for the Texas Longhorns heading into the season, correct?
I don't know if he's the prime flip target.
Well, then who would be?
The prime
Put
flip
the pride aside. It's DeCorian Moore.
It's DeCorian Moore. Look, they really want to flip a couple defensive linemen.
Yeah.
There's a couple kids from Florida State that Texas has their eyes on.
Yeah, Myron Charles out of Port Charlotte.
Kevin Wynn, Javian Hilson.
Oh, yeah,
Hilson. There's some dudes down there, okay? You're right. The number one flip target, the most talked about, will be DeCorian Moore. Texas and DeCorian still have a relationship. There's still a connection there. They're still reaching out. But, that one's going to take some work. Josh, that's going to take some work, but that's what the flip process is about. Yeah. He's decommitted once. They're going to try to see if they can do it again. I don't think they're going to push like they did early on in the cycle. I think they're going to let things kind of play out, because if they get Jamie French in the mix and they go on and start winning 8, 9, 10, 11 games in this season and wind up playing in the playoff, Texas winning usually cures a lot of L's. And so I think at the end of the day, they're going to stay close to DeCorian. I don't think they're going to push, but they're going to remind him, hey, if you don't want to move all the way to the Pacific Northwest, you can hitch it down the road, 2-hour drive to Austin, Texas, join a couple five-star quarterbacks, a couple five-star receivers, a couple five-star offensive linemen, essentially a five-star program. They're going to keep talking to DeCorian. And if you got Jonah Hill as one of your recruiters, this thing is about to get real, Josh.
Yeah. And that's what it takes. So you get a couple 5 stars on board. They start attracting more 5 stars. So Texas fans, talk to us. How do we feel about Jamie French? How do we feel about Michael Terry III? And more importantly, how do we feel about DeCorian Moore? Is he your number one flip target? Let us know. Comment section below. Well, you've made it to the end of today's video, but there's hundreds more videos on the On3 Recruits channel for you to check out. And also, while you're here, hit subscribe.